Hi, it's Hazel. Welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. I am giving you a look at the cover of my second purple journal. And I'm not sure what you think, but I absolutely love it. And I guess it will remain to be seen what I do with this when I reach the end. Now, the reason I'm showing it to you is because I am going to be attempting my very first spine dangle. Now, if you're a regular viewer, thank you so much. Hopefully you have subscribed and hit the notification bell, like, and comment. And if you're here for the very first time, because maybe you love purple or you're lost on, on the internet, welcome, and I hope you find value and choose to stay. Every single one of you is very much appreciated. So, as I said, very first spine dangle. And, you know, there are no implied guarantees here at all. You could be about to witness something absolutely brilliant, or it could be an epic fail, or something along that spectrum. So let's get to it. Now, if you have watched me for a while, you know that, like so many of you, I love thrifting. Okay, so this book, and this is the actual book, because, I mean, who'd want to tamper with that beauty? The only thing I covered was the spine. So this is 9. Well, we don't care about the width at this point. This was a book that had all the listings of the Canadian hog or swine. I don't know if they would have all been purebreds. I don't know what it was, but I mean, the cover was to die for. But of course, we didn't want any sort of references to swine on the spine. Hey, that's rhyming. I'm just trying to find the center so I can kind of show you what we're talking about here. So, of course, I wanted to cover the spine, and I did it with fabric. Now, I don't, geez, kind of a hangnail. I don't know if you can see, it has 3 signatures, so there are 3 rows of stitching. And that is, I mean, again, it's no secret that there would be strings for sewing in signatures. But I just thought that because this is so lovely, I should probably continue going over the top and making a spine dangle, which would also serve to cover up these threads here. Now, because my signatures are near the top, I cannot go in with my, what do you call it? Big bite. Is that what it's called? Big bite. To cut through the new spine, or not the new spine, the original spine, and be able to put an eyelet there because my signature is too high. So what I did, just before turning on the camera, and I will get this out of the way in a second. Oh, here it is. I found one of these. So I can barely find the room, the space to clip that on there. I don't know, it almost feels like maybe it would like to pop off. However, I'm sure you've seen people use this as a mechanism for clipping a spine dangle into that hole, making it renewable and removable, so that, you know, it doesn't interfere with actually using the book. So that is the plan. Okay, so we'll keep that. Well, whatever we do here today we will clip on at the end. So you can kind of see the color. We've got blue, green, creamy, you know, beigey color, as well as the mauve. Okay, so that's that's what we're aiming for here. So I did start playing around with some stuff yesterday. Now this, pretend this was still attached. This has a very definite Asian feel to it, and I didn't care for it. It had this garish gold stuff woven through this and through this big knot. So I just started cutting it, removed all these little bells, and I will obviously reuse the bells probably at some point, but I don't want any of this because it was far too bright, and it was, you know, it did make it look more Asian than necessary. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but just not for this project. You know what? I just realized. Anyway, so I made this loop. Now it's it's oval. I have been inspired. Okay, let me back up. You know, or maybe you know, that way back in March, I went to Winnipeg or to Manitoba, and I met up with Kim Newberg, Thelma Findlay, Ruth Aiken, and friends. And basically, oh, darn it. Sorry. Basically, you know, obviously love these ladies and have become a even more faithful watcher, even more invested in what's going on. So part of what we did was thrift a lot of jewelry. I had jewelry. I'd been encountering more jewelry. And so obviously that's part of the reason for doing the spine dangle and blinging it up. Now, I don't even, excuse me, think that you saw this because I'm behind. Let me find the other parts to it. This was the focal point on an expansion. Oh my goodness. An expansion bracelet. Sorry for all the racket. I've got these little mini baking pans. Oh, Kim, you'd be so proud of me. Look at, I made these. And if you're not watching her Charms and Dangles series, you should be. Anyway, I left those tails there because, of course, I have to still make the eyelet at some point. I could do a couple more wraps. I have to say, once you get the hang of it, it is kind of a lot of fun. And it's one of those no-brainer things that you can do in front of the TV. Anyway, I'm still trying to find, still trying to find the thing I want. Not that it matters, I suppose, when we're not using it now. Oh, here they are. So this bracelet was a series of these guys, which are so beautiful. And this was the focal point. So I cut the two pieces of elastic running through it, and that's what I'm using as my focal point. Okay, so, oh, I've got one of those. Oh, that's something else. Oh, I should, since I'm also talking about Kim, I don't know if you saw her video where she was announcing some changes to how she's doing her coffee memberships and so on. Anyway, it was sort of a final notice about if you wanted to become a member, like, do it. And that would give you access to all the files before those files disappear. And so I chose to do it with one thing in mind, to get all of these beautiful, beautiful, beautiful digitals. Now, these were printed 2-to-page. Of course, they don't look like it because I've already separated them. So the last several nights, as I'm watching TV before bedtime, I've been fussy cutting these out. They're just not here at the moment. So this is the 2-to-a-page size. So imagine how much bigger they would be if you did it as the original. And there is every colorway under the sun. Anyway, that's partly why I have these guys here, because her whole concept was to begin embellishing these things with all these things that we all have and probably don't know what to do with. Anyway, that's another thing. I'm sure that, like right now, she's in the middle of entertaining, I wish I was there, entertaining a couple of ladies, Thelma and Barb, in New Brunswick. I will be going to New Brunswick at some point. Anyway, so, I started to say she probably hasn't done her video yet on using those digitals, but at one point I will be doing a video as well. So anyway, back to this dangly thing. This, these, well, it's actually a double tassel. You could tell, I mean, hopefully you can see that. A double tassel was also part of this. But again, it had something that I didn't like on there, so I just covered it with this sequin trim. Now, because this had been part of a bracelet, I've been having, mind you, I haven't gone to Michael's, so I guess that's partly my fault. I've been having a heck of a time finding the right gauge of wire. I have wire. I mean, you know, this is some kind of crafting wire. Not that these are necessarily colors you'd want to use on jewelry, but it's far too thin. I have those paddles of metallic colored wire, but it's too fine. This I found at Habitat for Humanity. No indication of what gauge it is, but it's probably closer to the right size. So that's what I was using for these little swirly things. And that's what I used to make these rings here. So I don't know that I'll be getting any design awards for my craftsmanship here, but it is going to work. So basically I ran the wire through those 4 sets of holes. I looped this ring that I made onto, and I could overlap this and maybe should, onto this cross piece here. I should actually be pointing with something probably. Let's use these. So this is what I hooked this loop to. Now I had to kind of make sure this wire wasn't going to come off, but I also had to not have it visible to the front. And then I just made 2 rings because, as Kim pointed out, if you only have 1 ring, quite often it's going to twist and not go the way you want it to. So I have 2 rings that will allow it to hang straight. I might have to, you know what I'm going to do, so this thing doesn't have so much play. I'm going to take these pliers, if I can get in there, and just sort of make, put a crimp in this ring that I made. Oh, I guess it can still slide around. Ay, 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 ay. Did I just bugger something up here? I think I did. Okay, if this is my top, obviously I want the tassel. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord, give me strength. Let me open that back up. Told you it could be a fiasco. The sigh heard around the world. Now, of course, because I want to open this, okay, I might have to, I won't belabor this with you anymore. Let's get rid of, not get rid of, but move it out of the way. And I will tell you, oh, I know. Okay, I made this kind of an oversized ring. And I probably never get it back to the right shape, so I might have to make a new one. An oversized thing. So if this is my top, then this is my bottom, and this is where I want my, but that's not going to be good. You know what, I bet you this guy slipped someplace he wasn't supposed to go. If I made this my bottom, let's try that. I'm making this ring bigger than it should be, bigger than it normally would be, because I intend to use some of these fibers and so on. Now, we won't be able to add this on if I don't have a useful ring. Now, again, it's not a circle. But I don't think a circle would serve me well here. So let's see. I think, just to avoid confusing myself further, I'm going to open up this pair of rings, take it off, set it aside, and then I can make my bottom dangly thing be wherever it makes the most sense. So perhaps that should be right here, because there's so little room there. It should mean, I'm just going to pull it away for a second. It should mean that once I get this in here and squeeze that back, let me put these two ends together. Where do I want the connection? Well, probably not facing the front. That would be bad. Maybe, okay. What I'm going to do is try to center it between these two petals on the flower. So right there. And in order to keep it from being able to slide, you know, from side to side on that 1/2 inch, I'm going to attempt this world famous trick of sandwiching. I think I need another pair of hands. I'm going to attempt, maybe if I use these longer ones, I'll have a further reach, to sandwich this oh, good grief. Okay, enough. I'm going to open this up, take it off, crimp this together so it doesn't have all that play as I'm trying to so valiantly, now which was the side? I think it was this side. Okay, don't face that to the front. I'll worry about closing the circle after I get this. If I can, okay, I've got it kind of where I want it. Maybe I need a little more working space there. Well, that's, oh, hell. Whoa. Oh, I'm so sorry, people. But maybe you're, so, yeah, I raised the wrong side. Let's smash that down a bit. Let's smash that down a bit, and then it only leaves me one possible place to do this. Because where I had it just, okay, don't put it, where I had it was not centered between two petals. I'm thinking, what the heck? I said I want you between two petals. Now I'm going to squeeze. Have you ever seen a grown woman cry on YouTube? That's not a can-do attitude. Pull yourself together, woman. Okay. Maybe I have enough brute strength to just... Where is my hammer? Okay. I'm going to... You know what? Maybe what the simplest thing would be... Why don't I just use a jump ring and then hook onto it? Instead of fabricating my own stuff. Well, I can use one of these. What the heck? They're right here. Okay, which is the... This is the area. Okay, so I'm going to keep these guys together. No, let's not. Okay, let's use this one where I've got some overlap. Whoops. Oh. Okay, find the right section. That's this one. No, that's the one I squashed down. This one. This is a peek behind the curtain of what actually goes on in the craft room. Minus the swearing. So that side would work, that side would work. So the first one I can get this hooked onto is the one that it is going to be on. Okay, quick like, squeeze this back together. Quick like, yeah, we're 20 minutes in probably and haven't closed the darn thing up. Okay. I've got that closed up. So let's hook this on now. And let's hook. Now, mind you, is that ring going to be too small? Probably. So at least I have that one ring on there. And now let me try to squeeze this. And again, because, you know, maybe I'm making this harder than it needs to be. Kim is probably yelling at the TV or at the computer and saying, hell yes. Maybe I'm worrying unnecessarily but that's because I haven't done this before. Maybe all this movement on this ring is not the end of the world, because I'm adding a whole bunch of fibers and stuff, and there will be movement. I'm just making this more, I'm reducing the amount of possibility for movement. Let's just put it that way. But I still have, if you can see, I still have that little thing there that will accommodate my new and improved ring. Or let's see if this thing will work. Ow. And she cobbled together let's put this thing on. Let's close this up for the time being. I probably should have started. Let me use a fresh piece of wire. Again, you know, sometimes after you've bent some of these, you made some of these kinks into the wire, you really can't, and I don't know, that's like 1 inch and 3/4 or so. I'm going to aim for a circle, if possible. Well, maybe more like a lopsided oval. And maybe I want because I want this to be big enough so that when I hook this on and some of these fibers that I have, okay, let's just set that aside. Let's maybe put that aside and let's move on to some of the fibers. Then I'll know. I could be farting around doing this forever and then find out that some of the fibers that I've chosen don't actually fit through the eye of the circle. Okay, so what I have here, and I was just kind of either using odds and ends or basically figuring out, you know, starting with some lengths. So we know that the spine is 9 inches, which means that if I wanted my fibers to touch the ground, then I would need like 18 inches. So this piece, this is a pretty little ribbon. It's about 1/2 inch, is kind of 20 inches when it's doubled up. So that's a bit long. This little 1/8 inch satin, and I kind of picked a variety of colors based on what I had, but also on, okay, this is even longer. This is like almost 23 or 22 and a half. Colors based on that fabric that it's going to be up against. This is a beautiful variegated thing, and it's roughly, well, 17 inches total. Here's a dark purple 1/8 inch, roughly 20 inches, I think. And again, if some of these things are too, I purposely left them a bit longer because maybe I want to tie a bead onto the end, or maybe I want to tie a knot onto the end to prevent that little bit of fraying that is happening. And then I thought this green, this was a scrap piece. This wasn't something I thrifted. And I thought, well, that would pick up on the green in the thing. So let us begin layering these. Oh, and I should also say, I thought this was really nice. It's another variegated thing. And there is some blue in that. So let's, I said 18 inches. Let's make it 20. Because again, you can't where are my scissors? You can't exactly add on if you're a bit short, but you can cut off if you're too long. Now I also, this, would you believe, is part of one of these garland type things. And aren't those the best colors ever? So of course I still have, and these are fairly dimensional. I just basically picked, and I guess each little thing is glued on. It's not knotted, so it's glued. Why did I cut it so short, I wonder? Well, you don't want everything at the same length. So anyway, I have all this left, and probably more in the Christmas bin. I also picked some, I have 2 colors of pearl cotton. So a teeny tiny little fiber like that would be cute. Where's the other color? And okay, my tactical error, so please don't do that. Oh, I see, this one is darker or thicker than the other one. Now, I guess what I could have done also is look for a spool of pearl cotton. Oh, you know what? I have something like that in my binding kit. This came off a spool of very fine yarn. I'm not exactly, you know, a monster, strong woman, but so I think it was dumb, frankly, that I went to all the trouble of beading this on this lousy, thin fiber. So I think this is a mistake. Let me just grab a little something. So I'll get rid of these beads because, you know, with my luck, I've already gone through some effort. I made about 1 million knots here. And then I'm thinking, yeah, this thing will break. The beads will all fall on the floor. And so maybe what I'll do instead, just 1 second. I'm getting my journal binding kit because I have some this would obviously match the, well, I think I got rid of the one that I've had in here that also likes to break just if you look at it the wrong way. So I'll use this. So it excuse me, it introduces that lighter beige color that is part of this. So, and I also have this velvet, but I'm thinking that would be kind of wasted there. I'll use that someplace else. Oh, and on this one piece of pearl cotton, I did string, and I put a knot at each end to keep those beads from moving. So again, you know, this is neither here nor there. What is this length? So this was probably wasted effort too, because this piece, sorry, I'm getting tangled up here, is only, it's barely, like it's 14, it's not even 14 inches long. So although I guess I could have a little short guy, like I can't really do it at the halfway mark, but it would ensure, so I'll just leave this as it is. This will ensure that there's the beads are spread throughout the dangle. So let's lay this stuff out. And I don't know, to be honest, how much, you know what, I should probably at this point pull out my centering ruler, and that will be exactly where I will be sort of trying to aim for. So there's the center. I mean, you know, again, it's not exactly rocket science. And of course, I could cut another piece of this if necessary. But again, you want a variety of lengths. I think I moved that. Okay, let's not be so anal, okay? Let's not be so anal. That's roughly the middle. Let's throw the greenery in there. That's roughly the middle. Let's do this. That's roughly the middle. This little guy, roughly the middle. And because I'm so annoyed with those other little fibers, that yarn type stuff, I will not even allow them to be, mind you, I suppose they could be part of this. Just don't attach anything to them because they can barely hold their own weight. They can barely stay upright themselves. And it does introduce two colors. Okay, now, so I've got this. So maybe I'll just kind of put, no, maybe like this, so it's lower down. Now what I should be doing, but that won't be very fun. Oh, and I do have this too. Won't be very much fun for you to watch me string those beads, I don't imagine. If I had there's probably some sort of a thing out there, a tool, a gimmick, a whatever, that would be easier than tying, you know, multiple knots all in the same spot. Plus, of course, I'll also start with, I'll use the bead first. I don't know, you probably can't see purple against purple. I'll probably, I will start with the bead that has the smallest hole. And I'm assuming that this, I should have measured this piece. Because again, I've got lots of it. I don't have to skimp. Well, I guess it's quite long. Okay, I think maybe this little guy here, or maybe this little guy, or maybe this little guy. So I, you know, and of course, if I would have taken, let's do the pull test. I'm totally shocked. If I would have wanted to, but it was, you know, was it midnight already? And I'm thinking, okay, woman, go to bed already. Then, so I moved from the bedroom, I mean from the office studio here to the bedroom. And what do? I turn on the TV there and begin watching YouTube. And So I watched Kim do a master board. Now, I know how to do master boards. I love doing master boards. I've done videos on doing master boards. So what would possess me to watch a video that was over an hour long at that time of night of a woman, a friend, doing a master board? Well, she does it slightly different, and of course there's value in that. Seeing other people's approaches. Oh, beading is so much fun. Have I ever told you? Is anyone counting the number of knots I've made so far? Anyway, so yeah, by 2 o'clock, the lights were off. And of course, I wasn't just glued to the tube. I was taking apart some quilt pieces that I bought at an antique place, not really knowing that I loved them, knowing that they were unique and that they were paper pieced with paper from the 1930s. Now that's a knot, baby. If this thing slips off, well, then I don't know what to do. Anyway, that my buddies told me when I sent them some photos, has feed sac. We have success. Okay, let's string these on randomly. And you can see that I use some of these awful. Oh, that's going to swallow that all up. Used a variety of beads. A variety of colors. Totally random. This kind of dusty, mauvey gray. Kind of seems to work with that fabric as well. Oh, let's put one of these guys on. Let's put this guy on. Yeah, that'll be fine. Anyway, you may have heard me say that I have a surgery date for June 5th. So if you're inclined to say a little prayer for me, that would be nice. But so I'm working like a fiend to get, videos done and get some stuff looked after. It's the May long weekend here as I'm doing this. And it was so cold last night, and it's so cold today, that I thought there could have been frost. So at some point it will warm up. So before the 5th, I also better get, my bedding plants bought and planted and whatever little gardeny. I just have raised beds for, a few garden vegetables. So I have to do that. Anyway, I have no idea what. I have my pre-op appointment at the hospital, in a few days' time. So that's when you meet with the anesthesiologist. A nurse takes you through a lot of stuff. They say, allow 2 to 3 hours. I've never had anything take that long. But anyway, I guess they cover their butts so that you don't get a parking ticket or whatever. Anyway, so I'll have a better idea after that appointment as to what my, physical recovery will be like. It's the usual 6 weeks of no straining, lifting, blah, blah, blah. And, but I do, I do obviously, these are kind of awful here, aren't they? We're going to pretend that I didn't see them. I'm going to tie a knot here just so I don't lose these guys in this whole process. Oh, that knot's not going to hold anything. Who am I kidding? Anyway, let's pretend. Let's delude ourselves. Oh, I was also going to use some of this. Why did I bring it here and then not use it? So let's cut. Now, I guess, how long have I been struggling here? Holy cow, 45 minutes. You're getting your money's worth today. Maybe. Or maybe you want a refund. Anyway, I also, at any point, will be able to, because you see how well it works, knot beads onto the end of the cord as well, or these fibers, I mean. So I think that let's go on to the part where you kind of, you know, take your courage in both hands and simply tie this. Now, I guess before I picked it up, I should have had a little cord ready to, oh, there's the, not that, that's junk. That's kind of on the thin side. It's not junk, it's pearl cotton. But maybe what I could do here, I think I'm just gonna, since I've already pre-cut this, oh, I don't even have a piece of this in here. I'll put that there. I will reach for my thread, and I guess I could also use, but ribbon will slip. I was going to say I could use this narrow little, I thought, you know what, I have, but that would probably be goofy. I have, and this is the, if you ever see this, don't buy it. That's the crap I was talking about. So I have both, I have two of these. I will go with the thicker one, I think, and let that be my, is that the, no, this is the thicker one. I'll double it up, I think. I won't skimp on this, because again, I have quite a bit. And let this be my tying it all together thing. I guess we can remove this from the scene. Okay, so what I've done is I doubled up my tying thread. Again, I don't care, it's not quite even. And I'm just going to tie a knot. And I'm going to do a knot in the other direction. You know, sort of the same kind of knots we do when we're sewing our signatures. When we're closed, you know, we've closed up we've done the threading for our sewn in signatures, and then I'm going to open this up so I don't have a loop, and there you have it. Now, obviously this could be a heck of a lot bigger. Sometimes people put fabric in. I didn't obviously do that. Now, like I said, I can add charms and beads and so on. It might be simpler now to, well, I won't do that till I see where my length is. Okay, so we have this thing. But why do, okay, I guess. Now I have my two my ring here. This is going to be very high if I just... Let's take a look at it. I reserve the right to take this off if it looks dumb. Let's hook that back up. Now I've got this all, so pretend this is leaning against the spine. Oh, I better not. See, this is the one that was, I have to remember. Oh, how did this not even get tied in there, by the way? Oh, Lord. Okay. I will put this guy in after the fact. Let's hook this tassel-y part up onto this ring. Now you see that this ring could have been bigger. And maybe what I should do, what'll give me a little extra drop, so to speak, is close this. Or should I? If I hooked that on, then that probably means I'd be trimming off too much. Well, let's just do it and see what we can see. So I'm closing this ring, and I can, you know, this is not really going to be seen at all. So I'm overlapping. So it's not, those two cut ends are not just meeting, they are overlapping. So it becomes more like a jump ring, a split ring. A split ring. Okay, so that's what I have. So out of all of that, it's probably now about, well, somewhere between 1/4 and a 3/8 off an inch. Let's bring the book back in and see. Again, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot. Find the center of the third signature, or the center signature. Don't crease anything in the process. Okay, so we know that there will be that little clamp at the top, but that's... Okay, so if we had this like so, whoa, it's not attached. So yeah, I'm gonna have to, well, I need some of this length to, you know, attach some beads and so on. Because so far all I've got is this and this Christmas garlandy thing. Or maybe it wasn't Christmas, maybe it was just something else. Okay. So I think that I need this to be fairly tight here. So maybe instead of using that weirdo thing that I made here, I should just open this ring, mind you. Do I have just a commercially made? I do, but where? Or would I be better off with a ball pin? That might be the answer. And here I am trying to reinvent the wheel. Okay, let's remove this guy. Too bad I wasted so much time. All I can say is thank goodness, like this wasn't out of a broken bag of jewelry or anything. Thank goodness this focal point here from that expansion bracelet has withstood all the abuse I've put it through. Okay. So if now how am I going to do this? Because, sometimes bulb pins are a pain in the where. Okay, that's kind of, I consider that the back because that's where I joined it. So we're going to call this the front. You know what the problem is here? I need to, okay, this is where I tied those knots. So now I need to squish, well, let's get the bulb pin on first. Squish that circle there so that it doesn't slide around. Oh, that's too far a drop. Hoi. Open this up. Isn't this the easiest thing in the world you've ever seen? If I put it through this one of these things that I've anchored around here, okay, that's better, I guess. She said with such certainty. Okay. Now that still has the potential to slide, which, in any direction. But would this be... Oh, so I need something to clamp it onto. Oh, why don't I open it up yet again? Get this off, put this on, then put this on. I don't know where I had it. I think like I said earlier, I think I've made this harder than it needs to be. I want movement and, whatever, but yet I want the stability of no movement. So you can't have your cake and eat it too, kiddo. Now that is hanging kind of poorly. So now I suppose if I ever got this to the point that I was happy with it, I could use some glue, like Okay, maybe. Are we getting... But again, a ball pin is so dumb. They have a place, but oh my goodness, do they annoy me too. Oh, Lord, have mercy on crafters everywhere. Okay, take this apart for the umpteenth time. Take this off here. Take all of this off. Use a normal, this is one of the small ones. Whoops, 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 whoops. Put this on here. Okay, that's still my front. Put this on here, anywhere at all, because I've given up on trying to get it into... I say that and then I reverse myself. Get this on here. No, this is the more awkward thing. Get it on here first. And again, it's probably not going to swing in the wind, twist in the wind, as much as I think it is, or as much as I fear it is, because it is going to be butted up against the book. Okay, let's try this again. All I want is this to stay together long enough for me to close this up just by pinching it together. Is that... I suppose if I was using a second pair of pliers. Okay. Now, I might have to stick a bow right there. Okay, I am now going to pinch this together. However, well, even if I pinch one end of it together, I still have enough slack there, I think. Okay, maybe this is supposed to be going to that side. I still have enough slack there that I could get this guy through. Let's just do that. Because it is only a little tiny fiber. Did I speak too soon? Easier said than done to rethread it. I mean to thread it through that opening. Mind you, that furry little trim kind of doesn't make it any easier. Okay. Now I don't want that too low. maybe I want it quite high. Maybe I want it to start right about there. So that means that now I should thread this through again. If you have made a million of these, number one, why are you watching me? And number two, if you've made many of these before, and it's worked like a charm, please, please, please offer some pointers in the comments. And I can assure you that I'm going to do this again, just because I refuse to be beaten by a bunch of beads and fibers. There has to be a simpler way. And maybe if I wasn't trying to use this, this focal point here, this jewelry piece, I think we'd both be on to other things by now. I continue to loop this through. And again, tactical error. Shouldn't have, oh, that's the wrong thing I'm pulling at. I feel like giving this a little haircut here. It's annoying me and obscuring the place I need to be. I probably shouldn't have crimped this wire here that soon, because I've made it, the little target that I'm aiming for, that much smaller. Maybe I should just wrap it around a few times. And I think that sometimes, if I remember anything whatsoever, that is how some people sort of finish off, sort of like when you're making a tassel, you do all those wraps. Goodness knows I have quite a bit of length here. Except I get hooked on these petals. Okay, so let's tie a knot here, or 2 or 5. Let's do another one. And what I could have done is just use this Chinese tassel. Okay. Let us I think that maybe did the trick there. But again, I'm a little afraid to speak too soon. Okay, now where are all those beads? Somewhere hidden at the back here. So we've got this whole, and of course, if I would have, again, but it's learning as you go. And of course, there's something very nice about the tactile quality. Okay, we might as well go for broke here and just add a diaper pin. Add something. No, I'm probably not going to be able to thread this. Maybe maybe I better use one of these with the giant. I was going to say eye, but that's not really what it's called, is it? Okay, come on. And I think what I'm going to do here, rather than make a million knots again, is just, sorry, can you see anything? Tie this, literally tie this on. Again, you know, leaving myself a bit of ribbon to work with so I can double or triple knot it. And maybe even have the little tail hanging down. You know, if I neaten this up a bit. Okay, so there's that. Oh. What are we looking at for height? Did I make it too? Where is that thing? Whoops. Oops, sorry. Well, that's the top. Well, it could have been higher, and maybe well, let's do the next one. Find out something else that should have a bead attached to it. Let's maybe use this. See, I think if I had a, you know, I'm doing the old saliva thing here. That's not going to work, I don't think. Of course, I don't have a beading needle here. Not that I'm sure I would know what to do with it, even if I did. Or maybe it's just a way to use up these plasticky ones with the giant eyes. Okay. I'm going to do this a bit shorter because I'm going to be quite annoyed if I have to trim every one of those pieces that already has something threaded onto it. So we'll leave that tail there for the time being. Okay, that's there. Oh, it's not much shorter than that one. The greens. Okay, that's on there. I could attach something to this mauvey one. Oh, and I also have this just dangling there without anything on it. Oh, that might be a good one to add a charm to. I don't know if I have any charms right here, though. Would I want to use one of these? I'd have to make a loop, so maybe not. You've seen enough of that to last you a lifetime, probably. This may go through. But then again, just try. And again, I couldn't get a piece of Scotch tape and make something like you have on a shoelace. Or I could just continue to struggle. So I'm just wrapping the, whoa, that's about twice as wide as I need it to be. I just need this to not be so wide and unwieldy. This is probably too big. Okay, so remember, when you see a video like this, think, oh, she's so authentic. She showed us what it's really like to be in the craft room. I could make this a sharper point because I'm sure I have surplus length there. She's so authentic. This is what it's really like when things are going sideways in the craft room, or when you're learning something. And come on. Let's see if I can pull this thing out. Okay, this is really long, so I'll do it. Maybe I'll do a knot, since I have my little thing for threading it on there. And one knot should hold, well, will it? Yeah, good enough. Let's do another one. And I'll find I don't have any more of those. Here's a different color. And let's do a knot. And that just basically keeps the beads from falling down, like with gravity. I mean, they can go up because I didn't do a knot above, but we'll do this last one. I don't even know what you can see. Okay, again, let's get a feel for how long this might be. That's about 7 inches. And maybe I won't trim this until I, again, see what's what. I have to say, despite the blood, sweat, and tears that went into this, it feels nice and it looks nice. This ribbon seems so wide in comparison to the other things I've used, but maybe I'm just being hypercritical. Again, it kind of feels a little annoying or disappointing. But then I was going to say that these beads seem to be hidden, but where are they? I guess what I could do again, an oxymoron here. I want the randomness of a, hey, why don't I just tie it like this? I was going to say I could glue it to the front of this so it would kind of be in the center. Maybe that's simpler than what I was just about to do. Let's me. Yeah. No one will ever know, especially if I use art glitter glue, since it dries. It doesn't have that same shine that Fabri-Tac does when you know, have to use a lot of it and it oozes past. So I'm just, oh, that is the back of that was where I had the seam, but it wants to go that way, so let's not fight everything. So that's where I glued when I wrapped the trim around. So this will maybe kill two birds with one stone. I'm putting quite a bit, as you can see. And then I'm going, whoa, get those guys out of the glue. Get that fuzzy guy out of the glue. That is a lot of glue that I used. Instead of, let's resist the urge to put one's finger in that. And maybe use this instead. Now that should be well covered. Okay, so obviously I can't touch that for a while. I think that where are we? Oh my goodness, an hour and 20 minutes. I'm stopping there. And if you want to see how this turns out, you'll have to wait till the flip through. Thank you so much. If you're still here, thank you so much for persevering. I know that sometimes people get a vicarious laugh out of someone else's, you know, I don't want to say misfortune because this is hardly misfortune. Someone else's trials and tribulations, and that's okay. I live to entertain, so if you have had a laugh at my expense, then hey, you can thank me later. And yeah, I'm sure the next one will go better. Anyway, thanks guys. We will see you in the next one. Bye.